Hey guys, it's day 8 and 130 push-ups due today. So let's get to it. And I'm going to go for my standard 150 today. So they'll start with 50 push-ups. Let's do it. All right, so that's standard 50 on toes. Now I'll try and push out some more just on the knees. Oh, there we go. All right. Hopefully that's 70. My counting has not been accurate lately. I think when I'm in it, I'm just in it. The 130 push-ups today as a target for the Push for Better Foundation is from 1 in 3 people seeking help via AI. I'm definitely on that as well, you know, with the way, I mean, I have seen counselors for support when it comes to it, but what I use AI for is that pulling all the thoughts out of my head and trying to formulate them. And AI is probably not the best source sometimes, but it can be helpful when there is no help. I'm not saying go to it, but if you need to pull some thoughts out, you need it to formulate, to pull out the consistencies, to give you a rundown, a run sheet, or to put everything into a list, it's great for that. When it comes to actual support, there's nothing better than seeing someone. And also with that, it's finding the right person for you. I'm not saying everyone's suited to you, but having someone who's outside the family, who's outside that an immediate circle sometimes is helpful, because you then have someone who will give you space, will give you time, will be there for you, will allow you to think internally or reflect internally and ask you the right questions and guide you in the right direction. You know, if you find someone like that, stick with them. And it's not going to someone like a psychologist, a psychotherapist, or a counselor. It doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you, you know, less of a person. It actually makes you more of a person, because it's jobs like that, even coaches, mentors. You know, the whole purpose is bringing out your best. So that's what it's about. So find someone, seek that help. And if you need to use the AI systems, use them to formulate thoughts, see your consistencies, and then there's things that you could do to work on it. I'm going to give you my next set. So let's go for 40. Okay, 30. You might see me do the toes and knees. And also maybe some of you might criticize my push-ups. He doesn't go all the way up. I don't push all the way up because I'm trying to keep my shoulders out of it as much as possible. So that full extension position really engages the front delts and will burn them out as quickly as possible. But if we're not doing these right, you're getting your elbows too far up, you're going to start placing more stress into the joint, which can then start to cause a bit of inflammation around the shoulders. That's why my push-ups stop just shy of a full extension, and I try to keep this all in my chest. So my chest is definitely burning, my chest definitely gets sore, but as you can see, every day I've been able to hit 150, and it's taking the breaks, it's dropping to the knees, it's making sure that you can still keep pushing past that point. Because I could keep doing, you know, set by set, you can increase it. But all you're able to do is, you know, maybe one push-up. The next day you do 1.5. The day after that you do 2. The day after that you do 2.5. 2.5 may become 3. 3 might become, all of a sudden you can do a full 4th. So that slow compound growth makes a big difference. The fast pace we live in today, everyone wants quick results, nice and short, quick, fast. They want the results as soon as possible. You know, losing weight is a big thing when I was a personal trainer as well. And it's just making sure that when you're trying to lose weight, it's not like this is the end goal. It's a lifetime thing. It's a health goal. It's not just, oh yeah, I want to lose the weight, you know, I want to look great for the beach, I want to look great for my holiday. It's not about that. It's about health and well-being, you know. My goal for reason why I train is, like I said, I got 2 boys. But before I had 2 boys, back when I was 17, 18, the goal was, I want to be a fit grandpa. I want to be fit and healthy when I'm 60, 70, 80. I don't want to be immobile. I don't want to be, you know, not able to play with my grandkids, to sit down, to be tired, to lack energy. You know, I want to be running around with my grandkids. Or even if I don't have grandkids, you know, just to be able to be fit, to still play with my kids, to, no matter how old they are, we still need to be able to run around, to be able to move, you know. It's about health and well-being. If you haven't got your health, what else do you have? You know, you can have all the money in the world, you can work your jobs, you can own multi-businesses, but if you're not looking after your health, the only vehicle, this vehicle that we have, done. You know, if you had only one car for your whole life, you take care of it. We get one body for our entire life and we mistreat it, you know. It's about putting the effort back into it. So that's where it is, and that contributes massively towards this mental health project as well. All right, set number 3, 30. Woo-wee. 30. All right. What I was going to tell you guys, stretching is very important. So especially with all of these, you know, the basic sort of stretches is for the chest is actually getting the arm up on the wall, somewhere around there, and then getting a nice little turnaround. Keep the elbow pressed up against the wall, hand flat. Stretch out that chest, open it up. You know, once you open up the chest, it also helps alleviate a lot of the shoulder pains that we can experience, because sometimes the chest gets too tight and rolls the shoulders forward. You know, your scap retraction through the back there is also going to be quite important. So if you are going to the gym and doing these push-ups, just make sure you're focusing on a lot of that retraction stuff as well. So your low rows, you know, your bent over rows, keep it close in. Probably seated row, they're going to be your best ones, and just make sure those shoulders don't rise up too high. But, you know, it's 3 parts to it. It's always the psychology, the physiology, and the philosophy is quite important as well. You know, it's not like philosophical approaches. This is about personal philosophy, and that's more about the set of the sail. You know, the philosophy that we have is the core values, the behaviors, the habits that we put in place is that's the philosophy of life. You know, if someone's living a good philosophy, you'll be able to see it. You know, the outcome, the positivity, the health habits, the mental habits, you know, it all comes from a set of beliefs that we have within ourselves. And sometimes we set up limitations and bars on ourselves, and that's where we tend to fail a little bit, because once we set up limitations, and it might not be consciously us doing it, it might be subconsciously, it might be unconsciously, there's habits in there, there's things that we've learned from when we were children to adolescents to, you know, young adults. So reflect through that process, see sometimes, you know, where the anger comes from, where the sadness comes from, where the guilt comes from, the shame, whatever it is, you know, those are telling us something. And yes, people say they're negative, but the negative and the dark, we keep pushing it aside, there will come a storm that'll be so big that it might trap you in it. So the negative stuff, that when it comes up, try to say, why is this happening? What's it trying to tell me, you know? And if we can ask ourselves better questions, we push the brain into actually thinking of an answer. And it's not trying to solve it, it's just reflect on the moment, don't get too attached to that thought, and then say, okay, that's something that the brain can think about, and come back to it, you know. The other thing is breathing. You know, when you're highly stressed out, try to focus on your breathing, because breathing gets very shallow. When we're stressed, when we're angry, everything gets very tight, very tense, and stress does that. I know when I get stressed out, everything it's just here, and it tends to be in that, and it feels very tight, and it's just trying to get that nice deep breath in is a bit hard sometimes. So we focus on what's called box breathing. So it's 4 seconds in, you'll hold for 4, and you hold for 4. Imagine a box, 4 up, 4 across, 4 out, hold for 4. Those two are the holds. I'll do my 20. All right, so it was 30, there's another 30. Then I did my 50 with my 20 on the toes. I'm definitely past my target. So I'm gonna call it here, guys. If you still watch this all the way through, great. If not, this is just a journal to myself and to my kids one day who will watch this. So maybe my grandkids. Thank you again. If you're following, great, thank you. And all that's required for today, if you can donate to the Push for Better, there's a company that's supporting, double the funds of anything that comes in. So every donation today will be doubled. So please do your best, even if it's $1, $2. We're not asking for big amounts. $1 across 1,000 people is $1,000. So simple math. And it makes a big difference. So support all the people across. Everyone's putting in a big effort to make this count. So thank you again. Thank you for following. Thank you for following the journey. And yeah.